Hi, everybody. I just wanted to take a quick minute and say welcome back to Danette's Kitchen and ask you this question. Are you ready for what's coming up? We know that it's October. It's October 12th, 2021. The seasons are changing, even though it may not look like it outside. Yes, the seasons are changing. And regardless of where you live, if you live in a place where it's usually really sunny and really warm, or hot. Some places are excessively hot and they're having colder weather. I was talking to someone that's in the desert, basically, yesterday, and it was 63 degrees, which is really chilly for an area when where the temperatures are usually around 100. So yes, the seasons are changing. You know, just like if you have a car and you live in an area where there's going to be a lot of snow, you know that you will need to have the tires rotated. You hopefully know that the tires need to be rotated, and if there isn't enough grip on the tires, they need to be changed out so that you have adequate tires and you're not a driving hazard yourself on the street. Um, if you live where there could be lots of snow again or rain and you have a car, having proper windshield wipers so that you can see where you're going. You don't want the windshield wipers moving and just causing a blur on the window, which will happen when they're worn down. Um, those, oil changes and all that kind of business. But if you're in a car and you live in an area where the weather can get potentially hazardous, like where I live, you can pretty much expect that it's going to get bad. And if it doesn't get bad, then that's unusual. That's when you take like an old empty coffee can, throw in a Snickers bar or a granola bar or some kind of nutritional thing into that can, roll up a scarf, have a cheap pair of those gloves in there, and have a variety of things set up in there, and maybe have a sack of the dollar store kitty litter in your trunk so that if you get stuck somewhere, you'll have some adequate supplies to help you get unstuck and be able to get to safety. Um, and that even if you do end up staying stuck, you can be a little bit more comfortable with the things that you have there. But remember last year, the whole toilet paper craze? People were going off the wall buying all the toilet paper. Let's face it, they really were. Like, I went to one place and this person I knew had toilet paper from the floor to the ceiling, literally. Um, I don't know if the toilet paper is going to be in that same way, considered that same way this year, but I do tell you what, from what I've been seeing at the stores I've been going to, there's not a whole lot of meat products there. So for people that eat meat, that eat the beef and the pork or the chicken or the whatever, you might want to make some space in your freezer. Get those food items now if that's something that's a part of your diet. Not telling you how to eat. I'm just saying that if that's something that's a part of your diet, you might want to get those things right now, um, and put away what you're able to. Some places had very, very small amount of ground beef, like one package. A place I was at the other day, a couple of days ago, had one package of ground beef, and then all the rest was just like the empty refrigerated section. It was just really wild. We know the price of chicken has gone up because it was almost $12 a pack when I was at Aldi a month ago. And I was talking to someone from the South the other day who said that it was over $14 a pack. for chicken wings. Anyway, there are other things that you can store up and save up and prepare for harder times. Rice. Rice is affordable. Get it while it is affordable. I'm just encouraging you. It's a good idea to get things while they're affordable. Get a bag. If you're already a rice eater, get a second or a third bag, put it up. And we're going to talk about storage options again in another video. But right now, I just want to hit on these few little pressing issues. So, rice, dried beans, because those dried beans store well, can last a long time. And if you have a crock pot or Instapot, it makes preparation very easy. And even if you don't have those things, they can be prepared in a regular on the stove pot. And we'll talk about that in some other videos about different ways of preparing it and the time that it takes when using those different ways. Um, if you like packaged meals, see what you can get on the cheap and get as much as you can and put it up. Don't live on the day by day and don't live on the 3-day option unless you really don't have any other option. But if you have other options and you're able to um, get more, try to write a list of the things that you need, get those things, put them up, especially if you're able to get, pick up a few extra canned goods whenever you go to the store too. Try to be careful though. Don't. I know some people will eat the dented cans, but if the can is dented on the outside, we don't know what's going on the inside. There is a possibility of almost anything happening on the inside. So it's best to, look at the can, make sure the seal isn't broken, it isn't swollen, it's not dented, you know, try to not go for those products. Powdered milk is always a good option. Because you can get it in the box from the store. You can go to the food shelf and get the bagged, packaged kind. You can go to places like Target or even on Amazon and get the can. Like I get the cans of the Nido. And there's some other brands out there through Augustin Farms and different food preparation companies such as that. But I've heard that those places are backlogged and they're out of food right now. And if they're out of food right now, and you can go in the stores and you can see how limited things are, this is a time to really seriously be on the ball and try to get your stuff together. Get it together, get it home, put it up. If you know someone that's a farmer, and then being a farmer doesn't necessarily mean being out in the woods farming whatever. If you know somebody that has that, that's great too. But if maybe you don't, maybe you just know someone that likes to doodle around and do a little farming or planting things just because it's fun to see them grow. And then they never do anything with the stuff that they have grown. And if you see that they have a lot of mint or a lot of whatever, ask them if they're planning on doing anything with that stuff, or would they mind uh, you getting some of that stuff. You can offer barter and offer to help them with some of the weeding or whatever, because this is basically kind of cleanup time of the year for those kinds of things. And if they allow you to help with that and they say you can have all the sage, basil, oregano, mint, uh, greens or whatever, bring you some bags. Pull that stuff, put it in bags, bring it home, shove it in your fridge, and work little by little on dehydrating stuff. The mint you can hang and dry out, which I can talk about that in another video. Some of the hardier things like kale and collard greens and things, You can do the canning or whatever, with the vinegar and water and all of that, and cooking stuff down and putting it together. And you can do that if you have the mason jars and all that to be able to do that properly. Or you can cook it down, bag it, tie it, stick it in your freezer, or you can dehydrate it either in the oven on a very low temperature until it gets really crisp like a potato chip, or you can dehydrate it if you have a food dehydrator. That's the easiest method. Wash it, tear it all up in a little bits, like when you tear up mail that you really don't want anyone reading after you're done with it. And spread it out on those layers, plug it up the machine, and turn it on and let it do its job. This is the end of the farmers market season in the next couple of weeks because today is the 12th. So by the end of the month, here where I live anyway, the farmers market season will be officially ending, and then they'll just have like fir trees and jewelry and all that stuff, but you can't eat jewelry or fir trees, as far as I know. But you can, go to the market and see if they have any extra stuff, if they have anything that they're giving away or selling, two for the price of one, or it might be four for the price of one. And if they are doing that, that's a great way to get a haul of extra stuff that you can bring home so that you can pack and store some things to add to what you have. So your freezer can be full. At a minimum, you should be trying to have at least 3 months worth. Um, I'd encourage people to take it up the next level, 6 months or a year's worth of food, because we already know trucks are stuck. I'm not trucks. Boats are stuck out in the middle of the water, and supplies have not been brought in and haven't been getting to the stores. You can go to your grocery stores. You can go to the drug stores and all these different places, and you can see that there's less and less and less and less on the shelf. And it's not that it's restocking time, it's been restocking time. It's that there's nothing to stock on those shelves. And so they're working with what they have, and they're doing like the shell game where you have the three shells and people are moving them all around. Well, they're doing that, except they're just putting everything right in the front. You move an item on the shelf, there's nothing behind it, oftentimes. I'm not saying 100% of the time, but I know for the past few months, the places where I've gone, if I've moved the things that were in the front, there's oftentimes nothing behind. Price of coffee be going up because they only harvested a third of the coffee beans this year due to disease and other issues with the crops. So if you're in a place like Target or Kmart, if there's still a Kmart around somewhere, Piggly Wiggly, IGA, Kroger, Cub Foods, wherever, Aldi, if there is a buy one get one free option on your coffee or your whatever, you might want to try to get that while that sale is on. I was talking to someone today that went to the store casually yesterday to get a loaf of bread, and the store that she went to had no bread. No bread. So, this is just a sign of the times, and it's just showing that there is a lot of lack everywhere, you know. So, if you're able to grow some herbs or something in your home, great. I'm growing them in my home. I got the veg box. I have the large and the small veg box so that I can grow some of those things that I need, that I do consume on a regular basis. And I try to get as many canned goods as I'm able to so that I can stock those up. And you want to check the dates on them so that you're rotating them and you use the older supply first and then move to the newer supply. I dehydrate stuff because dehydrating takes up less space and it gives me more food options on a longer period of time. One thing I know I do have to do is get a sack of onions because once I dehydrate a sack of onions, well, my neighbors may not like me very much for for a day while it's in that dehydrating process. But after that, that sack of onions will last for 6 months. I don't have to buy onions for 6 months once they're dehydrated and packaged and put away properly. So I just wanted to drop in on you real quick just to share those little tidbits and look forward to talking to you again in a future video on how to prepare some of these items. Thank you for joining me. If you are not a subscriber, I'd love it if you'd subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. You can hit the bell icon and it will notify you whenever I come out with new videos. Um, hit the thumbs up if you really enjoyed anything in the video, if you want to talk about anything or disagree with anything or whatever, you can leave a message in the comments section. I'd love to hear from you and I'd love to be able to talk back to you. So thank you for coming and have a good night.